Attention, small business owners and creatives. Are you looking for the perfect audience to share your brand story with? Well, the Girl Get Up podcast reaches ambitious professionals across key markets filled with decision makers in government, tech, and business, such as DC and Texas. But here's what makes this opportunity special. Our listeners span 33 countries across 6 continents. That means your brand has both national impact and global exposure. Whether you're offering productivity tools, online courses, women's empowerment products, or services that support career growth or entrepreneurship, this audience is for you. The Girl Get Up audience are filled with action takers who invest in their development and support brands that aligns with their values. And we're growing organically every week. The Girl Get Up podcast has loyal listeners and a community of dreamers and doers who are ready to discover brands like yours. Are you ready to connect with an audience that's already listening? Or visit my stand store or send me a message to explore sponsorship packages designed specifically for small businesses and creatives. The Girl Get Up podcast is the podcast where your brand meets your people. Now let's get into the episode for today. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I share my stories. I bring my guests on, they share their stories, all in hopes that inspires you, the listening audience, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. Now, today I have a guest, Ronnie Izon. Please share with the audience who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Steve, for having me. My name is Ronnie Izon. I am a Nigerian-born, American-grown, as I call myself, author, speaker, and community founder. I am also the mother of 3 children, 3 adult children now. And I have been navigating in between my midlife and my emptiness years for the last 10 years. And discovering, almost like your podcast is, the infinite possibilities that are out there for women.
I know that's right. This is such an interesting topic to me. So I want to start from the beginning because you said that you were Nigerian born.
Mhm.
In your bio, you also mentioned, that you are cross-continental. So could you please share what that experience was like for you at that young age coming over from Africa or Nigeria? How did that shape your viewpoint on life?
So for my part of the Nigerian world, I was raised in boarding school.
Okay.
Nigeria was colonized by the British. So my boarding school was British based. My elementary growing up was all British education influence.
Mhm.
So coming over here, I came to go to college.
Okay.
And then college happened. And then life happened. And then I got married, had 3 children, and then divorced. So coming here was no different than the mindset of the boarding school. You were not raised to just exist. You were raised, launched into the world to make a difference.
Mm.
That was what I got out of my boarding school background. So coming here was no, For most Africans, not just Nigerians, for most Africans, education
Mm-hmm.
is probably one of the biggest uh, life goals for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not optional. It's the unspoken mandatory steps of life. You would go to college, non-negotiable. So it was what I was grown, raised as, and that was what I did. Go to
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. So in your own household, you're here and you're raising your own children. Was that a non-negotiable? Like, did you all talk
Mm.
about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, as young as they are, as little, and I'm sure if you ask them, they'll tell you. My kids and most Nigerian kids, let me reference Nigerian kids. College was not an option. It was not whether you will go or not. It's just the natural progression, at least the first degree. So for my kids, they, God bless them, didn't know that they have choices. You will go to high school and you will go to college. And after that, do you?
Yeah. You coach women on what you affectionately call their third act.
Yes, ma'am.
And you spoke a lot about your daughter going away to college and how that changed your viewpoint of yourself as far as the identity is concerned. Could you share about that?
For all your listeners, for every woman out there, I am sure if you've ever had your child, the last child leave the house,
Mhm.
this are some of the things that you think about that you may not have the word for, or you may feel like this is happening to just you,
Mm.
except it is happening to millions of women every year. I call it a fresh batch of misery
Oh, wow.
because you raise them.
Mhm.
And I just described the college being a non-negotiable for us. So you raise them, you know they're going to go to college. All those are head knowledge. You planned it. You helped them select the college. You went for the college visits. I mean, even when they selected their college of choice, you went dorm room shopping, dorm supply shopping, right?
Yeah.
You do all that. What you didn't know is when your heart knowledge is going to kick in. When
Mm.
you drop the last child off and you give them that last hug, in my case, hugging her a little too tightly until she goes, Mom. And that little mom speaks volume like, let go. You're embarrassing me in public.
Right.
And the realization that you're leaving your heart,
Mm.
a piece of your heart, to complete strangers.
Yeah.
In my case, I don't even think she was 17 because we had to sign a waiver for her to be in the dorm because she was so young. I think she was 16 or 17 when she started. And you're leaving your baby with this, I don't know you, but you must leave them because it was what you worked towards.
Yeah.
The drive home for a lot of mothers, and I described it in the book that you mentioned earlier, until that last hug happens, you're still in la la land. You're still in this euphoria. We planned it. They're doing it. This is the normal progression. You're excited for them.
Yeah.
But when they turn their back, and I can bet you $1 that they would turn their back first and you're still rooted in place. Like, what just happened? And they're trying to get on with their life. I'm sure they're
Mhm.
afraid too. But for me, I was falling apart. And I wasn't the only one falling apart. Moms, dads, all of us were falling apart together. You could see us going, dabbing our faces, dabbing our faces as we were walking away. For me, It took a while to even start the car.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 kids. She's my last and the one that turned me into an empty nester. The drive, oh my gosh, was so gut-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere between that drive and getting back home is when this little voice in your head starts to get a little louder.
Mm-hmm.
And that voice starts to ask you, that's it? You did all that? Wait, there was no blue ribbon? There was no award? Wait, what am I going to do now? I mean, you were running around 2 months ago, planning graduation, picking out college stuff, and then you finally made it home safely by God's grace,
Yeah.
in between tears, and your house is quiet. There's nobody that says, Mom, I need to be Mom. We're going to be late, Mom. You don't have to solve anybody's problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably one of the hardest part for an empty nester. When you're no longer useful,
Mm-hmm.
when you're no longer the center of their world, when you're no longer solving their everyday drama, something happens that makes you question yourself. Like, is that all I'm good for? All this work, 18, 19, 20, 20 something years, depending on how many kids you have. That's it? It's over? Now what about me? That's where the identity crisis kicks in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was your expectation when you're preparing to send them off? Did you have an expectation like, okay, I have to solve any problems. I just sit and relax. And then that realization moment came in like, hold on, I really found value in that.
So this is what I describe as the head knowledge and the heart
Mhm.
knowledge. If you've ever taken care of any sick person, an elderly
Mhm.
that is very sick, or a very old person, 80s, 90s, let's even use 100-year-old.
Okay.
You love them. You know they're frail. You've been taking care of them. Your head knowledge says one of these days they will answer the call to glory. We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
And you try to prepare yourself, but nothing, absolutely nothing prepares you when it happens.
Yeah.
Same thing is your child going off to college or trade school or just moving out of the house.
Yeah.
I understand and I acknowledge not everybody has this perfect progression. And not everybody's going to go to college, even if they just move out of the house. This crisis happens even if they're just moving down the street. The problem is you have had this role for so long. How many times have you been in a store? A random kid says, Mom. What happens to your body?
I turn and look.
It's not your child. You know your child's voice. But we have that knee-jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So the end of this thing that you've done for so long, your muscle memory. My last 2 kids went to the same school. They went to school near BWI. I used to say my car could drive itself back and forth. That's how much I did it for 8 years.
Mm.
So imagine that day when you drop the last one off in college, that you no longer have to make that run. So prior to, you're happy. I was happy. Oh my God, I'll be so happy when I don't have to drive Route 3, and I'll be happy when I don't have to get stuck in traffic. I'll be happy when the house is quiet. Head knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The heart knowledge is when there's nobody opening your refrigerator and looking in your refrigerator as if something is going to magically appear until you say, "Would you close my fridge, please?" There's nobody demanding for your time.
Mhm.
There's nobody asking you to do anything. So all those things that you wish, I know I will,
Yeah.
it's different. It, for some people, it leads to depression. I've always said that I am thankful that I had a full-time job.
Yeah.
Even that alone, balancing the balancing act
Mhm.
of the full-time job and the full-time mommy mode and all the activities they may be in. And my kids were always active. I was running up and down. And all of a sudden, phew, all of that was gone. So what I planned for, what I was expecting, my head knowledge,
Yeah.
was totally different. 180 from the emotional anxiety, the emotional pain. And everybody's experiences are different. Mine, I can only describe it as emotional pain
Mhm.
of having to go, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It made me question my own validity.
Yeah.
Mind you, these kids are just in school.
Down the street.
Down the street, your head knows it, but your
Yeah.
heart does something different.
Yeah. How were you able to shift your mindset during that time, refocusing on yourself and the things that you want to do to uplift yourself?
First, I'd like to put it out there that it's not linear. It's
Mhm.
not a straight part from the here and now to where I want to be. I'd also like to stress that I've been on this journey for over 10 years. She's been gone for over 10 years, and to me, it's still, the house is still quiet.
Yeah.
So for me, I've always wanted to travel. Travel was one of the things that I put on the back burner while I was in active mothering role. Funny, before she left, she was asking, even she was mindful that there's a shift coming, that what are you going to do with yourself when I'm gone?
Mhm. Oh, that's so sweet.
And should we buy a dog? Do you want a dog? No, I am done raising things or people. No. So for me, travel was one of the things that I wanted to do, that I got started. The second thing, and for me, this was major shift. I understand that not everybody will have the opportunity. I had to leave the house. I had to.
Okay.
I relocated to another state. I relocated from Maryland to Houston for two reasons. Number one was the house was just too quiet. All the reminders, you walk past their bedroom, you know
Yeah.
their hobbies, whatever they left in your house, you're still looking at it.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, I want my parents are in Maryland. So the first year that I went through, I was miserable. I have a full-time job, but after the work, after the church, after whatever activities I had myself, you were still coming to an empty house.
Mhm.
And that I couldn't shake off. This is where some women will go into depression.
Yeah.
I kept myself as busy as I could. I volunteer, I serve, I am here, I am there. But before the end of that 1 year, I decided that I needed a fresh start.
Okay.
I was already divorced anyway. So I'm a single parent. There was nothing tying me down. By this time, she had decided she was going to transfer school from South to the West Coast. So for me, the way that I made my decision was equal distance to my daughter and my parent in case of emergency, whoever needs me. So I decided to move to Houston. Why Houston? Equal distance. It wasn't because I love Houston or hate Houston. It was just, where could I be that would be equal distance in case of emergency, whoever needs me. So I moved to Houston. I needed to find Ronnie.
Mm.
In Maryland, I was mom. As a matter of fact, most people that knew me when my kids were young were Miss Izon, Jeffrey's mom, Jason's mom, Joanna's mom, Miss Ronnie. I was not Ronnie.
Mm.
And that was important to me, was to find Ronnie. What did I want? I had to remember
Yeah.
all those things that I pushed back, all those things that were lower priority. I had to make me the priority. That meant going where nobody knows me.
Mm.
So that when I introduce myself, I was introducing Ronnie. Hi, I'm Ronnie. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
And that did me a world of good. I speak to people freely. I know my mailman. If you were in line together, I'll talk to you. So I didn't have a problem meeting people. On top of it, I didn't know any soul in Houston when I moved to Houston.
Wow.
But that fit my personality.
That takes a level of bravery.
So if you and I use the word bravery,
Okay.
it means it's only for a few of us.
Mm.
It means, in my opinion, that we're content sitting in the status quo.
Mm.
Sometimes we have to do it afraid.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was not afraid. I was afraid. But I could either sit in fear
Mm.
or I could go find this woman. I talked about coming here for college. I finished college. I got married. There was not really time for me.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
two choices. I could sit and cry, woe is me, or I could make a choice. So I did it afraid. I packed up the house, hitched my truck to a rider truck, drove cross country. I met people along the way, wonderful people along the way, complete strangers. So, to get started, how did I do it? That was the choice for me. For other women that I coach that do not have the opportunity to move cross country, most of us, when we were raising the kids, we're so busy with the kids that they are our entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're no longer here. How many of your neighbors do you know? Go meet the neighbors. There's an elderly on the street. There's a mother with little kids. You know what that looks like. You know what it feels like. Step up. If nothing else, how about you start with a walk? Start a new tradition. How well do you think you know your neighborhood? If you drive, most of us drive, our eyes are on the road. Has there been a change in your neighborhood since the last 5 years? Take a walk. Put the phone in your pocket. Truly open your eyes to see. Do you like pets? There's a neighbor that has a dog, a cat, a whatever. Introduce yourself. Ask to walk the dog. Changes are not made in big chunks.
Yeah.
Little things that stop you from looking inward, sinking down into depression, worried about the kids don't need you anymore. Your kids don't need you. Somebody else needs you. Do you go to church? Do you go to mosque? Where do you go? Somebody needs you.
It's so powerful that you said that because I adopted my son's dog. And the amount of people, especially in the summertime, I have met a lot of people just taking his little butt out for a walk every morning and every evening. So it's so funny. I've met so many different people, so many different backgrounds because we have that one thing in common, a pet.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And that's where your little change starts.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you take the walk, you're seeing something different, something interesting about your neighborhood. When you talk to the neighbor, the little sparks is ignited. When you plant flowers in your own neighborhood, when you change, not a major change of furniture, rearrange something, little things that stops you from spiraling down. On this walk in the third act, as you referenced, I have met on my YouTube channel, I have met so many people, male and female, that are stuck in, I am missing them. Yes, you do. But here's the kicker. They're going on with their life. They're moving on with their lives. They're figuring out their lives. And you are allowing misery to live rent free in your head? Grief will run its course. It's almost like the grief stages. First, you're angry. Never mind that you know they went to college. You're angry that you're home alone now. Is that it? And then you're in the denial. Oh, that's okay. They'll be back. When they come back, they're not coming back the same.
No, you know what's so funny? When they come back, they have other people that compete for their time.
Hello.
So you have to like not be upset about that because they still young. Yes.
When they come back, I just released a YouTube video about this topic that I titled, When They Come Home and They Turn Your House or Use Your House as a Hotel.
Yeah.
So there's the denial. Oh, that's okay. They'll be back. Or I'll go visit. Even when you go visit, they have their friends.
Mm-hmm.
It is not personal. They are not willfully malicious.
Yeah.
No malice, nothing. They're doing what we raised them to do.
Yeah.
We're the ones that need to get over the grief stage. And you are missing them. You must acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And you're grieving their absence. You must acknowledge that. Because that season, that period, and that is the second act of life, as I call this the third act.
Yeah.
That is the second act. The curtain just came up on that second act. Your job is done, Mom. You did a phenomenal job. You raised an adult that is doing what they're supposed to do. Now, to that question that is what next? What now? That is the best part of your life. You just don't know it yet.
I know that's right. Which brings us to talking about the book. It's a memoir that you wrote. It's called Slipping Through My Fingers. And you had a fantastic premiere on the first night of you releasing your book. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I did. We had a phenomenal night. So the book was 5 years in the making. I have to put that out there. It's as many authors that is ever written a memoir, you're regurgitating old stories. You're picking old scabs. So it's not something that you sit one day and you write. Or at least that was not my experience. I went through the seasons of who wants to read about my story? Except as I meet other women and as I learn about their stories, I realize that what I'm going through is not just Ronnie. It's every Ronnie out there, every other mother out there that is going through similar. So it took about 5 years to write. My picking scabs, as I call it. There were days that were easy, what to include, what to not include, what's private, what's not, what is relevant for the world, for other women, to show other women more than anything that you're not alone, to show daughters that we're not crazy. We just love you maybe a little too much sometimes. And we really want to hold on. And you're trying to break free. And there's that tension in between. So we finally, to the glory of God, got the book published, and then come launch date. I have to thank my church, and I'm please, if you don't mind, I'd like to shout out Redeemer's Chapel
Absolutely. Go
in
ahead.
Lanham, Maryland. My church came out. They showed up for me. They showed up so much. We sold 350 copies in 2.5 hours. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It What I loved especially about the launch was it wasn't just women. It was men and women, young and old. We had teenagers all the way to 80s. My parents are in their 80s. My parents were present. But I also had teenagers in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
When I was teasing out the promo, I had a lot of men reach out. That says what you're describing is not just mothers.
Mm.
Fathers miss their children too, you know.
Yeah. And you know what? That's something that's not talked about a lot.
It I am just considering right now to collaborate with a few dads to see if we can work together and write from a father's perspective.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Especially, we have an outlet. You and I can talk about this all day long. I remember when I was dropping out in school, there was a dad. The mothers were carrying on, we're
Oh.
expressing our emotions. He was just there in the dorm. But if you look at him, you could see something was going on. And me, I told you, I talked to everybody. I step a little closer and go, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No, that's my baby.
Mm.
And no, I'm not okay. And I don't know how I'm going to be okay." The comment on the YouTube channel says it all, male and female. I miss them. So as I write the book, I wrote from my daughter's angle. I had two boys and the girl from the relationship. The title of the song is actually influenced by the ABBA song Slipping Through My Fingers.
Okay.
And there was that song, the song title. The song title talks about the places we are planning to go.
Okay.
And for me, that was it. It's all the things I wanted us to do together.
Mm-hmm.
One day they're with their backpacks, you forgot your lunch. And then the next day, they're this little young adult. One day they're sure, next day they're not. By the time they go to college and come back, they're adults. Whether they have it together or not, that's a debate for another day. But they're adults. And to see all this mix of demographics, the teenagers, the dads, the grandparents that came out, that purchased the book, I don't remember too many people that purchased one copy. That was how we sold so many copies. They were buying copies to gift women in their lives, to
Yeah.
give to sisters, to mothers, to daughters. It was phenomenal. It was just to see people read and give me feedback. In less than 48 hours, I think I received the first feedback. She hasn't even finished the book.
Oh, wow.
She said, "I wish I had this book when I was struggling with raising my kids.
Mm.
I wish I had this insight. I wish I had this wisdom." And for me, I'm thanking God that I stepped out. Again, this is not brave. This is doing it afraid, but do it anyway. Because if you can touch one woman, one mother, mission accomplished.
When I was younger in my 20s and a young mom, and I was put so much pressure on yourself, and this is for the young mom, whether you were a teen mom or in your 20s or, early 30s, and you just you're under so much pressure trying to figure it all out and be perfect. And you don't realize until you get older and you look back at the journey, there's no perfect way to raise your children. I totally got with that the feedback was they wish that they had the book earlier. I totally resonated with that.
There is no perfect. Thank you for saying it. I hope your listeners, I hope the young parents, the young mothers are listening. Even the older parents that are like me, the midlife parents,
Mm-hmm.
some of the women that I coach, believe it or not, some of the topic is pains that they're carrying around.
Mm.
That my mother did this. Or
Yes.
we have a strained relationship because. And the question that I ask is, what were her choices?
Mm.
How do we decipher between malice, intentional, willful malice, or a woman that's struggling
Mm-hmm.
and doing the best she could with what she had at that moment in time? And when I put it like that, you could see almost like realization,
Mm-hmm.
or at least you could see the gear churning in their head. So, what you're holding against your mother as an adult or as a young parent that wants to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
the only perfect people are 6 feet under. You're not there. They're dead. They're 6 feet under. They're in a perfect state of silence. That's not us. As a young mother, you're challenged. You have a million of choices that we all make daily. Do I get out of bed? It's a choice. Do I brush my teeth, comb my hair? What? There are a series of choices that you will make. Do the best you can for your child, but don't aspire to be perfect because perfect does not exist.
Yes, okay.
And that's where we add stress upon stress upon stress. There's no need. On top of it, and I hate to break it to you, and I'm sure every mother did this, I'm sure you did, especially if you have multiple kids, or even if you have one. Your first child, nothing is too good for your child. Am I right?
That's
You buy
right.
brand name things. By the time you have the second, you're a little relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you have the third, please, daycare is perfectly okay. The kids, as you're raising them, the kids are not keeping scores of day 242 of my life. My mother did this. No. They actually remember the micro experiences.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask them about memories now, oh, we did this. There are those outliers. I am always careful
Yes.
to acknowledge the outliers that did not have a good home life,
Mm-hmm.
that terrible things happened to, even to those people that terrible things happened to, and you informed your mother, and your mother did not defend you.
Mm.
I ask for grace. Unless it was a mental situation. And even at that, you know, it was a mental situation that the person was not capable of defending. In most cases, the woman, that mother, was making decisions based on a set of facts or situation that you are not privy to.
Mm.
I have this analogy that I use. I call a coin 3 sides. Each coin has 3 sides. If I hold up a coin, if you see the head, that means I'm seeing the tail. So you will be right, justified, factual, that that coin as a head because that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And I'll be equally justified to say it's the tail. But neither one of us are seeing the true story. Like a puzzle, you don't have all the pieces. That woman at that time that didn't defend you was making decisions. Right or wrong, I'm not defending. I am saying give grace, especially now as an adult,
Yeah.
that you're on the journey and you realize that life has a knack of throwing you curveballs. That the perfect life that you expected is somehow not perfect. And you're having to change course correct as you go along. Please give grace.
Mm.
Most important, don't let that bad situation define you. Don't let that bad situation determine the rest of your life. For the benefit of your life, for the quality of your life. It does no good to carry the burden, to carry the weight of unforgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean put yourself in harm's way. Two different things.
Mm.
Forgiveness, you release them for yourself so you can have peace. You can love people from a distance, from a very long distance. But to that young mother, there's no perfect.
Yeah.
Raise your child the best way you can. Give it your best so that one day when they leave and you look back, you know beyond the shadow of a doubt, you did the best you could.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the adult, to the midlife, as you're looking back, all of us have regrets. In the book, I wrote about things I wish
Mm-hmm.
I had told them. That's my way of dealing with my regrets. Things that I should have said to them. When I was playing Supermom, I can do it all. This warrior is also a child. I cry in the shower when things were harder, when I was raising you. So I wrote about my regrets. Journal your regrets. Write a letter to your children. The book started with a letter, as a matter of fact. It started with an innocent letter that I wrote to my daughter based on a school project that I poured out my heart to her, things I couldn't say. Imagine this. Imagine you having your son sit and you're about to tell your son how many ways you love him.
Yeah.
Is he not going to look at you and go, hey, Mom, are you okay?
Right. I was just
Something going on?
you good?
You good?
Right. Yeah.
Things we cannot say out loud. So at the lunch, one of the things that I did was actually have them write letters to their daughters, to their
Wow.
sons. So they have a choice of writing 2 letters. Letter 1, if you have children, write a letter to your children the same way that I wrote to my daughter. Shared my feelings and my hopes for her for the future. Or if you didn't have kids, write a letter to your future self
Mm.
a year from now. Dear Ronnie, in 2026, write whatever it is you want to say to yourself a year from now. That letter to future self, I had envelopes for them that they could self-address, and they left it for me. I'm going to mail that letter to them a year from now. So, to your listeners, to every mother, especially those with a difficult relationship, take a moment to write a letter.
Mm.
Not just a voice memo. Sit and write. Pen to paper. Apologize if you need to. Tell them how much you love them. Try your best to be open and vulnerable on paper.
Ooh. Okay. So where if a woman 50 plus had wanted to join you at the Third Act Society, where can they find you? Where can they find your YouTube channel on social media? So just share all your socials.
Thank you for that opportunity. So, the first place to find me is on my website, ronnieizon.com, RONNIEIZON.com, ronnieizon.com. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all my handles are at Third Act Society,
Okay.
as well as the community. We would love you to come join us. Come listen and lean in. There's a lot to talk about in this act. It's the most exciting act of your life.
Okay. You got me ready to go over here and pack some bags and start doing some traveling, enjoying myself. I know that's right. So I typically have people share a word of wisdom to help inspire them believe in their infinite possibilities on the outro. But this whole episode was just so inspiring and so uplifting.
Thank you.
But I will still open up the floor for you. If Miss Ronnie, if you feel like you have anything that you want to share, please go ahead. Now's the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, to all the listeners out there, mothers, non parents, male, female, if there's one thing that I like to leave, actually, it's a long one thing, but I'll try and concise it. We already talked about life not being perfect.
Yeah.
When you're raising your kids, this is one of the personal regrets that I have, that I'm sure most parents have. When we were raising them, we were so laser focused
Mm,
on raising these children that we abandon ourselves.
mm,
And I am advising young parents, young mothers, we can do the balancing act. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. Find your me time
mm,
in all the business of life. The same way you needed to hold the house down, hold the job down, raise the kids, run the kids' activities, be a caregiver, maybe for parents, for somebody else that's dependent on you, be the church lady, the mosque lady, the whatever lady. Keep you, while you may not be front and center, because in your second act, you're in full mothering role.
mm,
Don't put yourself on the back burner. Do not defer. Do not totally forget what your dreams are. There is a lot of things you will not be able to do. For the woman that wants to go to the moon, and I use the moon as the extreme, while you're mothering, you will not be able to go to the moon. Let's just be honest about that. However, stay active in that community, so that you're connected, so that you have the one thing that's yours. If you've always wanted to be a writer, you can write either first thing in the morning before your household wake up,
mm,
write at night, exhausted, write a line, write a word.
mm.
Do that thing that you want to do. If you wanted to open a bookstore, if that was your life's desire, your dream, stay connected to that community, that you just don't, I would do it someday. There is no someday. And the reason that I am now stressing, figure out how to balance it, the reason I'm stressing it, those years, you cannot recover them.
Right.
What you could do at 25, at 35, at 45, you can no longer do at 55, 60, 70. Very few people can go to the moon at 70. The gravitational pull is not good on the body. If you wanted to travel, your travel does not have to be international. Find a weekend. Negotiate with the neighbor. Negotiate with your spouse, with your family, with your sphere of influence to watch your kids travel. If you could financially, if it's viable, take the whole family. If it's not, do it for you. Don't defer it. When I travel, I wanted to travel, and in my 10 years, I've been to over 15 countries.
Wow.
Next year, I have Vietnam, Bangkok, and we're
Wow.
still trying to negotiate one more country to add, because if I travel that far to Asia, I really want to make it count.
Yeah.
The last Asia travel I did, Bangkok, Singapore, and Bali
Oh, wow.
was what I did. Each one of those travels, except for Bali, those two countries, I walked over 30,000 steps per day.
Mm.
You cannot walk 30,000 steps. Let me rephrase. Very few people can walk 30,000 steps at age 70.
Mm.
So make it count while you still can, if that is your dream. Whatever the dream is, please don't defy it to someday. Some people never see the one day. Some people don't have the opportunity. So while you're young, keep it not front and center. The kids suck up all your brain cells
And patient
and
sometimes.
patience, but figure out what it is, how you can keep the fire burning.
Yeah.
And for the older adults, for the empty nesters, the midlife that are in their true third act and no longer mothering, what are you waiting for?
Mm.
Your someday is now. Now we have to adjust. Even if you want to open a bookstore at age 60, we're young, but girl, carrying boxes of books here and there. Woo! So remember you. Take care of you. And whatever your dream is, don't push it on the back burner. Most of us, as we're growing, our parents gave, if you have a grandmother, she gave up her dreams for your
Yes.
mother. Your mother gave up her dreams for you.
Yes.
What are we doing? We're about to perpetrate the same generational. No, that's what I am preaching from the rooftop. We're not giving up,
Mm.
because those kids will grow, they will leave. And sometimes you just don't recover those years back. So when it's all said and done, what legacy are you leaving behind?
Mm.
When you're no longer here, what do you want people to say about you? For me, I want people to say my life mattered, that I touched at least one person, that I made a difference in one person's life.
Right.
If I can do that, my mission is accomplished.
Well, I couldn't have said anything better myself. With that, we are going to see you all next episode. I appreciate you, Ronnie, for being here. I'm going to send you off the right way, but everyone else, take care.
You.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.